Hey everyone, today I'll be showing you how to make a sky full of clouds in Blender. First, we'll start off by selecting the cube and going to edit mode. We'll go into face selection mode and we'll select the top face, extrude it up, scale it down, and then do that to the sides too, but twice. So we'll extrude it and scale it down twice. Then we'll do this on the other side as well. Now I want there to be kind of bump here, so we're going to add 2 loop cuts by hitting Control R and scrolling my mouse up once. Then we're going to select the top face, turn on proportional editing, and move it up a little bit. So I'm going to close this really quick. And then we're going to take both of the middle faces and making sure you still have proportional editing on, go to scale and scale it up on X. Make sure it gets pretty big. Okay, so now that you have like a basic shape of the cloud done, you are going to go back into object mode and hit shade smooth and then go to modifiers, and you're going to add a subdivision surface modifier, change the levels viewport to 2 and leave the render the same. And now go and add in the displace modifier and add in a new texture and change the type to clouds. I'd say you want it the size around like 60 or something, because that always turns out pretty well for me. So now we'll go back to modifiers and we are going to apply both of them. So now we have a shape of a cloud. We are going to hit Shift A and add it in a volume empty. We'll be in modifiers already, so we are going to add in a mesh to volume modifier, and we're going to set the object to the cube, and then we're going to change the density to 3 and the voxel amount to 128. So now that we have that, we're going to add in another modifier, which will be volume displace. We'll add in a new texture and we'll change the type to cloud again, and we will play with the size until you like it. So I'll have mine around 120 most of the time. So now we can go back to modifiers, and usually I'll have my strength around 2.5. Sometimes it gets a little crazy though, but I will just leave it like this for now. Now I will go into shading and I will make sure it's still selected on the volume and add in a new material, and as you can see, it's like an off-white grayish kind of color, so make sure it's all the way up to white, and then change the density to 0.4. Once you're done that, you are going to go back into layout and you are going to start putting the clouds in the sky. All you need to do is add in a plane, scale it up to however big you want your sky to be, and then move it up so it's above your cloud, and then go to particle properties and add in a new one and change the particle type to hair. Check advanced, change the number to 50, and then go down to render, set change the render as to object, turn off show emitter right now, and then select the instance object as the volume. As you can see, the clouds are really small right now, so you want to scale them up. And then also turn on scale randomness. And as you can see, obviously my clouds aren't facing the right way, so to fix it, you will check rotation, and then you will play around with the orientation axis a little bit to see where your cloud will lie flat. I think mine might be global X. But once you found your orientation axis, your cloud should be facing the right way, and now we can go into rendered mode and see what everything looks like. And obviously everything's like super dark right now because there aren't any lights. The background's like darkish gray. So to fix this, we're going to go to world properties and change the color to a light blue. Make the brightness all the way up and change it to a light blue like that. Still pretty dark, but first we are going to take the volume and move it down, which won't actually do anything to actual volume. That is down here. We'll move the clouds up here up a bit, and we're doing this because if it's intersecting with the plane, there'll be like a lot of glitching happening and stuff like that. So if you move it up out of the way of the plane, it'll just be a lot better in general, and it won't have as much glitching. Now, we're going to Shift A in a light, and this time it'll be an area light, and we will size it up so it's a little bit bigger than the plane. I think mine's a little bit too big. Cloud. So to fix this, we are going to go to rendered properties and change the render engine to cycles. As you can see, my clouds automatically look so much better and so much fuller. This is because Eevee doesn't support volumes that well, or lights or stuff like that. So it's not very good with details or lighting and volumes. So this is why I usually use cycles for everything I do in Blender, because it's just better in general, but it does take a longer rendering time. So to fix this, if you can, you should change the CPU to GPU in the device setting. But if you can't, then that's also okay. It'll just take just a little bit longer to render. Also turn on denoise and change the max samples down to 100. Now we are going to get the camera view set up. So we are going to take the camera that is down here, and we are going to move it up and to like where you think the clouds will like be, and a nice view for them, and where they'll like generally be. So now that I have the clouds in sight, I can go to object properties, and I can move my camera around to get a shot of everything. As you can see, there isn't many clouds in my scene right now, so I will go and select the plane again, and I will maybe add in a few more clouds. I think that's a little bit better. I'm gonna move the camera a little bit over this way because I feel like that's a more even amount of clouds in the sky. I'll try rendering this. Maybe I'll make the scale a bit bigger too. Okay, so now I can try rendering an image. So I'll just press F12 and it'll start rendering an image for me. I can tell right now there is some glitching going on. I think that is because it's too close to the plane underneath. So I am going to get out of the render, and I'm going to take the volume and move it a little bit more up. Well, down actually, because that moves the clouds up. I still see it happening. I think it's because the light's too close to it, maybe. No, that's it. Okay, so I think I figured out what was happening. Basically, I think the plane was a little bit too far away from the actual cloud, so it kind of like made it glitch out. And also, I think the clouds were just a little bit too far away from the actual plane, so I moved the volume a little bit more up than before. And when I did that, I also need to move the camera around too in the lights, so keep that in mind when you're doing this and you're fixing the glitches. If you have any that you'll need to move around other stuff, I'll move the camera a little bit up more. Right now my samples are at 10, so let's just check if it worked. I can already see that my clouds are no longer glitching, which is really good. So now I will do a final render of them. I'll turn up the samples so it'll be a little bit more high quality. Maybe I'll turn it up to like 250. First I'll save it though so it doesn't like crash. So now we can try rendering an image. My final. You should have a sky of clouds at this time, but if you are struggling with anything or you need help, any questions or feedback is welcome. And we hope you enjoyed our video, and a like and subscribe would be much appreciated. Thank you for watching.